Wicks or Van Ness gonna practice today?
Wicks will be limited today. Van Ness will not be practicing.
Did Lloyd have a setback in the last couple of weeks? Has he had any procedures done or anything?
No. Marshawn? Yeah. No. We actually, we sent him out west to another group to try to get his body right. And so it sounds like the results are promising, but we'll see.
So what do you think of the tush push? I know obviously it's a big storyline this week. I mean, I'm sure you've seen maybe some of the officiating of it.
Yeah, I think the best way to stop it is to not to allow it to happen in regards to you can't allow them in those short yardage situations because you know exactly what they're going to do, and they've been pretty successful at it, obviously.
If it does happen, how do you teach stopping it? Because obviously it could happen. How do you teach how to stop it?
I mean, we'll always have a plan. I'm not going to, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, less from a schematic standpoint, just from a fundamental technique.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's fundamentals and techniques that I'd rather not get into. You know, we can have a conversation after the game.
Has your opinion on it changed at all from the comments you made at the annual
Yes,
meeting?
like, I'm not going to get into it. It is what it is. You know, the NFL made a decision, and we have to find a way to try to stop the play, and it's a tough play to stop.
And in 2023, you guys actually ran it 5 times with Jordan. Why did you go away from it?
That's a great question, Rob. It's
I
just,
think you were successful on 4 of the 5.
yeah, and I remember the ones that we weren't. So, but yeah, it was just one of those decisions. I think, you know, every team's built a little bit differently, and for me, it's always, do you want your quarterback subject to some of those hits that he could potentially face in those situations?
What did you think of how the Vikings played it?
It was very interesting.
Do you think it worked at all, or, I mean, did it have any impact, do you think?
Obviously not.
What have you seen from the running game in general? It hasn't been as productive as last year, but
Yeah, I still think I mean, I know, like, that's why it's funny when you watch the tape versus when you see the numbers, it's like, it's kind of polarizing, I would say, because you look at just really on offense and on defense in regards to when I'm watching this, it's a very difficult team on both sides of the football, and even on special teams as well. So I do think they're a complete football team, and sometimes the numbers kind of get skewed in regards to what you actually are seeing on tape.
Did they play you a lot differently in the playoff game, defensively versus your offense than they did?
Versus week 1?
Yeah.
They absolutely did a few different things. And then also, I think anytime, you know, Vic, that was their first game together. I think the natural evolution that occurs throughout the course of the season, you know, they got a heck of a lot better, which is to be expected. I mean, that's why you got a ton of time on task and a lot of time to figure things out, and they figured it out because they were playing really good ball, and I know that again, the numbers I think are totally misleading from what I see on tape. I see a team that is very competitive. They can win really in every level of the defense. They're going to challenge you. They can get pressure with 4. So it's a great challenge. Obviously, I think he's one of the best ever to do it. So it's going to be a great challenge for our offense.
I don't mean this to be a game plan question, but with all that Tucker Craft did for
Don't ask it.
I mean, but with all that Tucker Craft did for the offense, do you have to look beyond just Luke and Fitzpatrick in terms of making up for that workload?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. I think that is just everybody has to pull a little bit more and do a little bit more, I would say. It's just not going to go on one position group. I mean, we need it from everybody, from the guys up front to our runners, receivers, and our quarterbacks. So it'll have to be a collective effort.
How have you seen Golden not only handle himself on the field but off it when he's not probably getting as many touches as he would like?
You know, he shows up with a great attitude, great mindset. I know that he wants to make some plays so bad. It's unfortunate. Just this last game having to go out. So, you know, I think it's a matter of time. I really do. And we're going to keep on, you know, like we threw the deep post to him last week, and Morig made a heck of a play on it. And but he's going to get opportunities, and I think it's just a matter of time.
Is he going to practice today?
He will be limited.
Defensively, how much is through their, well, I guess Mitchell and DeJean, how much do they challenge you guys?
Yeah, they're really good players, really good young players, both in their second year. You know, there's just obviously Quignon, his ability to lock you down on one side, and Cooper, his versatility is what makes him so special, whether he goes outside or inside. I think they're both really, really good football players.
Will Mitchell, or has Mitchell shown that he'll shadow a top guy?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
what do you expect in that regard? Maybe you don't have a top guy.
Yeah, we don't. Well, I think that's one of those things that we're going to have to get into the game to figure out.
How hard is it to get a quarterback who likes pushing the ball downfield and has had success doing so to be patient when teams aren't giving him that deep stuff?
Well, I think he's. I know what you're getting at, Matt, but I think he's done a really good job. I mean, there's going to be plays that you'd like to have back where you wish that, hey, just take the gimme. But he's got a lot of trust in his guys as well. I think that's what it says more than anything is like, I got the trust that my guy's going to go up and make the play, similar to how Christian did in the game. So I think it's a fine line because I don't want to take that mindset from him. But also, you just got to be smart and see what the defense is doing. And if, they're bailing and getting out of there, you got to take the completion. I always talk to him about you have to earn the right to throw the ball down the field. So, you know, if they're going to play off and soft, take all the ones underneath. Typically, what that'll do is that'll get teams to tighten up, and then you'll have your opportunities to go down the field.
Were you, this past week, did you have any chance to look at, or did you look at how teams are playing you against the run and maybe why you haven't been quite as productive as you were a year ago, particularly
Yeah, I think that's, again, there's many layers to that in regards to, because the run game is just, you need everybody to do their assignment and do it perfectly on every play, especially if teams are going to come up and try to defend the run with an 8-man front or whatever it may be. But I think there's just been a lot of moments where it's the inconsistencies have shown up, where one guy's a little bit off or we're not taking the right aiming point. Certainly there's some looks that I know that we could have better calls that we're running into. So I think there's a lot of layers to that question, I would say.
Do you think you have, are you looking at whether you have the right players in the right positions to be successful, whether it's the tight ends in certain positions or your offensive?
Yeah, absolutely. That's personnel plays a big part into it, and as well as the matchups in terms of who are you going against, and you got to be able to anticipate a little bit of what teams are going to see from other teams, and it's a copycat league many times, and if something shows up and they're having success with it, you can bet that it's probably going to show up again.
Going back to Luke, he was having a really promising rookie season for you a couple years ago before the injuries, and then he had more last year. This year, has it just been a matter of just being stuck behind a really, really good tight end, or what's been kind of holding him back?
Yeah, I would say it's more that in regards to just as much 11 personnel as we've played. You're kind of limited. You got one tight end to put out there, and certainly I think Tuck has earned that right. And then, but Luke, it's not for in game when there's situations that inevitably arise where a guy needs a breather. I mean, you feel comfortable throwing Luke in there as well. So we've got that luxury of having two guys that we feel, or three guys with Fitzy and to put in those situations.
What did you see from Wiley, with him getting the call up now and just these last 2 months that he's been with you guys?
Yeah, he's a guy that we did a lot of work in the draft. Saw some of his tape at Tennessee. I just think he's a gritty, hard-nosed competitor, and he's got the versatility that you can move around a little bit. So now it's a great opportunity for him to showcase what he can do for us.
What's the plan at kicker, since you still have two after the trade deadline? Is it a health thing? Is it best guy at practice wins this week? What are you thinking?
Well, I think every time it's a competitive situation. So, we're going to have both of the guys kick today, and we'll kind of see where Brandon's at in terms of his health and whatnot, and go with who we feel like gives us the best opportunity to go out there and compete and win.
He was obviously so good for you last year. Do you still have that same level of confidence in him?
I do, absolutely.
Why is that?
Because I see it every day.
Seems like you've done a lot of perimeter screens this season. What do you like about that play? And do you think our defenses seeing a tell or anything? Because sometimes they work, but sometimes they really get blown up.
Yeah, those are feast or famine. Some of those are run alerts that we're throwing out there, and I think teams have done a pretty good job of triggering on those, and it's made it difficult to block. So I'd say that we have to be very calculated as to when and why we're deciding to spit those out or call a screen in some situations.
How beneficial was it just having the extra day this week with the Monday night game, and how did you prioritize that extra day?
Yeah, it's always beneficial in regards to it allows you a little bit more time for, I think the main thing is to allow our players to recover so you can have a really good week of practice. But as far as prioritizing our time, it's a one-game season every week, so you're totally focused on your opponent and also the things that you need to improve upon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.